come with me to the Grow with Video conference. This is actually my first solo trip. I usually go with like a family member or a friend, but I couldn't find anybody to come with me this time. So I was like, whatever, I'll just go by myself. So I'm going to show you guys what I did there and also some of the takeaways that I actually got from the conference. So even though I did go by myself, I actually did meet a lot of cool people there. Like here you go, for example, Miss Denise or Mrs. Day All Day. I also have a live with her on my channel now. All right, so at the end of each day, I wanted to sort of like give you guys one takeaway that I had that I really thought stood out to me as a video person from the conference. So here's the book. They gave us a notebook, which I usually take notes on my laptop, which was so it's really cool that they gave me a notebook. And oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Had a full day of peopling. I usually don't talk to this many people in a day. Anyways, all right. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you guys is a session that Sean did. Sean Cannell from Think Media, and the topic is the secrets of the top 1% strategies to go viral. And I'm going to go over what exactly I wrote in my notes. So, he gave us 8 strategies. So, number 1 is the mass appeal method. So, stay on brand, but appeal to a lot of people basically. So, this is like sort of like one way you can go viral. The second way is like the reaction strategy. So figure out on your channel how you can do different reactions to different things. So I remember when he was talking about this, he was sort of talking about a plumber, and the plumber was reacting to like different tips and tricks that he saw online, and whether they were real or not, whether they worked or not. To give you an example of how that would look if I did it. So as a video editor, if I reacted to other people's video edits, that would be a reaction strategy. So stuff like that. Number 3 is ethical clickbait. So number 4 is stirring up emotions and sparking interest. So that is another secret that you can use, or a strategy that you can use to go viral. So how can you stir up emotions in people, or how can you make them more interested, basically? Number 5 is ride trends with culture surfing. So how can you use known brands, events, and very popular people right now, currently, and how can you sort of like inject them into your content? So a good example of this is sort of like entertainment channels. Um, they usually create content over what's trending right now. So as soon as something new happens, they're usually on it. Even the news, they're on it. And that's like trending content, the stuff that's happening like right now. Um, Number 6 is crafting punchy titles. And they basically said that less is more with the titles. So they said try to do like 7 words or less. That's like another viral strategy. Number 7 is add odd and specific numbers in titles. So think about how you can use odd and specific numbers in terms of like months, days, weeks, or minutes. So yeah. And number 8 is form a YouTube Jedi can form a YouTube Jedi council. So create a like-minded group of YouTubers or like marketing people, and because they were trying to basically say like, you're some of like the five people that you hang around with, or like the, primary people that you hang around with. So they're like, okay, if everybody is onto this goal, if everybody is hasn't having the same goal with the YouTube channel, then everybody is focused, and they'll get results faster because everybody's focused. So yeah. All right, so I've done absolutely a horrible job at filming things today, but I am still gonna do my sort of like best takeaway that I had from the conference today. And one of my best takeaways from day 2 was not actually like a tangible takeaway, but like it was some quotes from one of the speakers, which is Cody Sanchez. And one of the quotes was, you don't want to have to trace attention online to have to pay your mortgage or your bills. And they were basically talking about content creators and relying solely on like YouTube ad revenue. They said that you never want to do that, which I am obviously I completely agree with. So I don't know, I think it was just nice to like hear somebody else say it besides me. And the next one, it was another quote, and she said basically like to work like it's up to you, and then to pray like it's up to someone else. So yeah, those were 2 quotes. That was my takeaway from today. And yeah.
My computer, that actually might be the best thing for you. Okay, let's try this. Is that all right? Okay, so the first thing I noticed when I look at your channel, just from a branding point of view, love the overhead, the banner. That's clean, that's good. Profile picture, that's clean, that's good. But actually, if you can, I'd actually zoom in on yourself a little bit. Like, let people see those pearly whites, you know what I mean? Big smile, let them know you're a friendly face, all that good stuff. But nothing too nitpicky here, just really good branding. If I was just to focus on one tiny little thing to improve, that'd be great. Yeah. So now I want to show you something that's I think is really imperative, especially for kind of what your model is here, which is, see here on the Thing Media channel, it's the first line of the About section is unfiltered YouTube tips for building a profitable channel. It's just boom, one line simplicity. And when you're doing kind of more of the entertainment content and stuff like that, I tend not to zero in on the About section, but if I'm gonna pay somebody money, the first thing I read is actually pretty important to me. And I know it is important to a lot of other people because I've talked to them and I've seen that this is a very strong indicator as well, whether or not they continue to interact with your channel. So you click that, and then it has that first line, clear, simple to read. It breaks down the mission, breaks down why you are the authority. So you could say, I'm just going to make some stuff up here, but your mission is like helping people become debt-free, escaping, finding their dreams, reigniting the passion for their business, whatever it is. And then your authority as to why you are the expert in this field. I have X amount of years, I've helped 20 businesses, whatever it is. Let people know why you're good at what you do. Because I'm sure you're great at it. Am I wrong? Yeah. Okay, and it's okay to be proud of that. So now when I click here, it's not that this is like bad. It says Catara Lane's a video strategist. Love that. That should be down a little bit. That first line just needs to be a punch in the face of what is your mission and what this channel is about, what they can get from it before they even pay you as a member or a client.
Got it.
You know what I mean? 3 tips to make sure your audio sounds good in Premiere Pro. So these are good titles, but they're not like they're not like knocking me back.
I know, I need to
But here's the thing. I think when a lot of people are starting, not starting, but like, how long have you been doing this?
7 months.
7 months, okay. So just in the beginning phases, it's not like you started yesterday. But in the beginning phases, like, a lot of people are like, I don't want to clickbait, you know, I don't want to like lie to my audience. But if you deliver on your value, if you hype it up a little bit, it's okay. So I'm going to show you like an Alex Ramosi example, and then I'm going to look at Dan's, and I bet you he's doing similar things. So this one I love to show people, not the F your excuses part. Like, I know that's probably not going to be part of your branding. It's part of his style, the way he speaks. But the title, brutally honest advice for broke people. You're like, I'm broke. You probably need to jump in there and see what he's talking about. And it's not necessarily it's not like an attack on broke people, right? He's like trying to tell you what the hell to do so that you guys can get out of debt. You guys, including me, trying to speak in the we so I don't feel so alone over here. All right, so now, what if we had brutally honest money-saving tips for creators?
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah.
And what I really want you to do, when you are trying to think of ideas, go to your inspirations, even if they're in a completely different niche. I don't even care if they make Beanie Baby ranking tier lists. I don't care what it is. Go look and see what these successful videos are doing and emulate the format, not the idea, but the format. And even the idea to some extent, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but the format. Think about it from this perspective. Like, write down that title, like brutally honest advice for broke people, and start filling in your adjectives and your verbs and your descriptors in that format. Brutally honest advice for content creators, brutally honest advice for startups with zero funding. You know, just really hot button terms and bring the heat inside of your videos. Tell them the truth. This ain't going to be easy. This is going to cost money, and you're going to feel doubt. You're going to feel scared. You're going to feel all these things. And you have a baby and a husband or a wife, and you're on your last paycheck. Where do you put it? Your business is about to go under. Your family is hanging on by a thread. Which path do you take? And how do you navigate those things? I know I might be a little heavy with some of these topics here, but I'm trying to just bring the realness of what you can offer these people.
Yeah.
It looks like your most recent video got 62,000 views. Or like, that was 3 months ago. Sorry.
Yeah, one of them did go viral.
That's great. And they are going to pop up, but I would like to see these views go up from like 30, 50 to 1,000, 2,000 consistently. And that's the type of stuff you can do, because it clearly, you're bringing value. Clearly, you're bringing value. So, how do we get this to be a once a quarter thing where you're going viral? How do we get this to be your new standard, and then increase that to get this to be your standard, and then 100,000, 200,000 is your viral? Like, that's what we're trying to do. I understand that stuff might get on the home feed, but as far as click-through rate, that actually has to do with your thumbnails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when people see your having a low click-through rate isn't necessarily bad, just so you know. It means that, like, it can mean two things. It can mean that people aren't clicking the video, but it can also mean that YouTube is pushing and pushing and pushing, and so there's going to be less of a percentage that are going to click. If you had 1 million people in a room and then only 10% clicked on it, that's still 10,000 people clicking on your video. You know what I mean? So that's not necessarily bad. You have to interpret the numbers that way, especially when YouTube is testing videos of various audiences. So, okay. But I really think that your thumbnails are okay, but I think if we tightened them up just a bit and made them a little bit more simple and a little bit more clear to read, using examples like Alex Ramosi, this one is really good.
Losing my loyal base because they're like,
Okay, so I completely forgot to do the last thing that I took away from the conference, and I'm now at the airport, but I wanted to do my last takeaway that I took away from the conference. And the last takeaway that I took away from it was actually about parasocial relationships. So basically, talking about like parasocial relationships is relationships with people on social media, and it's really different from, short form content when you're on YouTube because, people actually feel like they know you. So, I was listening to Shailene Johnson, and she was talking about how we love keep me company content, and that people are basically moving to long form because they are longing for connection. So yeah, that was a really interesting thing for me to learn, and she explained that like really well. So yeah, that was my last tip.